Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, respected ulama, Huffaz, His Excellency Mr. Sultan from the Royal Embassy of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, brothers and sisters, and most importantly, the Hajis, the guests of Allah from South Africa. All praises are due unto Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and salutations on our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Jazakallah to everyone that has taken the time to join the press conference, be it in person, live on television, live on radio stations, and via our social media platforms. Jazakallah to the media houses for making this possible. We would like to express our sincere gratitude to the government of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia under the leadership of the custodian of the two holy mosques, His Royal Highness King Salman bin Abdul Aziz Al Saud, the Ministry of Hajj and Umrah, Ithra Al Khair, which is the muassasa and the service provider, and all the role players who were instrumental in making Hajj 2024-1445 a success. We cannot forget our own SAHUC medical and mission team. Alhamdulillah. We make dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grants all our Hajis Hajj Maqbool and Hajj Mabrur, and at the same time we request our Hajis to remember us in your duas, inshallah. We would like to also take this opportunity to thank the Royal Embassy of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the Department of International Relations and Cooperation for their continued support. Through the grace and mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, SAHUC is 2 times recipient of the Labaitum Award. The Labaitum Award is one of the awards from the Ministry of Hajj and Umrah in terms of the programs and measuring performance and beneficiary satisfaction. This award aims to spread the concept of competitiveness among service providers to increase the level of efficiency, quality, and service performance on the guests of Allah. A special thanks must be given to all the SAHUC members, accredited travel operators, as well as our Hajis from 2023 and 2024 from South Africa, who helped make this possible in order for SAHUC to achieve this momentous award from the Ministry of Hajj and Umrah. Alhamdulillah, the Ministry of Hajj and Umrah has issued SAHUC with the quota allocation for Hajj 2025-1446. The base quota remains at an allocation of 2,500 to South Africa. SAHUC, DERCO, as well as the Royal Embassy of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia are currently engaging with the Ministry of Hajj and Umrah for an increase in the Hajj quota allocation for South Africa. We humbly request for your continuous du'as that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes a quota increase possible for South Africa soon, inshallah al-azim. In preparations for Hajj 2025-1446, we will be soon launching the dynamic registration portal during the month of July. The dynamic registration portal serves as a guidance with regards to prospective Hujjaj placing the queue. This place is based on date and time priority of registration. Positions in the dynamic portal are not filled and will change as a result of queries being attended to. In order to meet the timeline set out by the Ministry of Hajj and Umrah, we need the Hujjaj to access this dynamic list once it is published. SAHUC will inform the public of the timelines from the Ministry of Hajj and Umrah within the month of July. We would like to hereby extend an invitation to the Muslim organizations across South Africa or public representatives who want to join SAHUC as volunteers. Please make contact with us, and inshallah you can join this organization to serve the guests of Rahman solely for the pleasure of Allah. Last Hajj season 2023-1444, our South African Hajis in both Camp A and Camp B experienced challenges in terms of certain non-service deliveries during the 5 days of Hajj. The South African Hajj and Umrah Council, along with stakeholders in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, attended to the Hajis' concerns during the 5 days of Hajj, and although we tried our utmost best to remedy, unfortunately this could not be achieved as we were in the midst of the days of Hajj. During the days of Hajj, SAHUC and representatives from the travel operators whose Hajis were affected had a meeting in Mina. In this meeting, we discussed their complaints and committed to the Hajis that we will address these issues, and SAHUC will not rest until we, through the permission and the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, resolve the shortcomings, inshallah al-azim. Some of the major concerns which were raised by the South African Hajis and SAHUC were as follows. Insufficient security at our camps in both Mina and Arafat, and also Hajis from other countries roaming around in our camps, taking some of our tea, coffee, drinks, food, and security was an issue during the last season. The quality of the food provided on certain days to our Hujjaj was not acceptable. Sofa beds were provided in both Mina and Arafat, and those caused major issues in terms of space constraints for our Hajis, and it made it very difficult, especially during the time of Salah, for the Muslim brothers and sisters to pray, both in Mina and Arafat. We also had issues in Arafat with regards to the aircon system not working, and space constraints when putting the mattresses, the sofa beds, it reduced the amount of space between the Hajis in the camps. We had no water in our camps in Mina on day one for approximately around 2 hours. Service deliveries that were shown on the Nusuk app specifically for Camp A were not provided to our Hajis. On the day of Arafat in Camp D, the service providers ran out of water at around 4 p.m. Both SAHUC and the Hajis who remained in the camp until 2 a.m. the next morning had limited to almost no water in our camps. The ablution facilities in Arafat that were provided last year was below par. No provision for those Hajis who were in wheelchairs and for those with disabilities. Majority of our Hajis did not receive meals and drinks to take along with them from Arafat to Muzdalifah, although the service provider sent a truck to Muzdalifah. The moment the truck was opened with the refreshments, unfortunately, Hajis from other countries consumed all the meals that were provided for South Africa. SAHUC had raised these major concerns along with other concerns to the Ministry of Hajj and Umrah, and inshallah we will divulge those over the next few days. Each year, SAHUC requests Hajis of their specific year to submit their compliments and complaints in writing to SAHUC. We review each complaint against the pilgrim's contract to verify if there is any contractual deviations that warrant a compensation from the travel operator. Alhamdulillah, over the years, in majority of Hajj complaints that had merit contractually, the accredited Hajj operators resolved the matters with the Hajis. Last year, unfortunately, majority of the complaints were against the field of a service provider, specifically for non-service delivery over the 5 days of Hajj. One needs to remember that last year was the first year post-COVID where the numbers were back to pre-COVID in terms of quota allocations to all countries. We wanted to apologize to SAHUC for taking so long to revert to the Hajis. Unfortunately, this process has taken very long. We had to engage with the role players in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia with regards to quantifying the non-service delivery on the 5 days of Hajj against what was offered contractually for both Camp A and Camp D. The majority of the non-service deliverables were in Camp A in comparison to Camp D. Camp A, for those who are not sure, is the special services which we call the VIP with regards to the Mina camps. Just to clarify, non-service delivery claims is when a service provider contractually promises you to provide a service, and if they do not deliver, we have recourse. If the camps get invaded, or if the area is dirty, or if the food is delayed, these do not warrant a non-service delivery. Last year was the first time where the service provider failed to deliver against what was agreed on contractually. After months of official meetings, starting from October 2023, in person and virtually, praise be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, today is a historic moment for SAHUC as well as for our Hajis. we are pleased to announce that both the Ministry of Hajj and Umrah, as well as Itra Al-Khair, the service provider, may Allah grant them all lots of barakah, inshallah, and may Allah take them from strength to strength to serve the guests of Rahman. They have agreed an ex-gratia payment for the 3,500 pilgrims of South Africa for Hajj season 1444-2023. The total amount of the ex-gratia payment received by SAHUC in our Saudi Arabian bank account, which will be refunded to the 3,500 Hajis of 2023-1444. The amount in Saudi riyals, 3,049,041 Saudi riyals and 67 halalas. Alhamdulillah, and praise be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have managed to negotiate a 41.5% ex-gratia payment for Camp A and a 17.8% ex-gratia payment for Camp D. Subhanallah, praise be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We humbly request that all the Hajis and the Muslim community at large, please do remember us in your du'as, and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continues to utilize us to serve the guests of Rahman only for the pleasure of Allah, to the best of our ability, with complete honesty, integrity and trust, inshallah. We would like to request all the Hajis to make 2 rakat shukr namaz and to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for this ex-gratia payment. Please also remember Muslims throughout the world who are experiencing difficulties, especially our fellow brothers and sisters in Palestine. Jazakallah to everyone for making the time during your busy schedule. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.